It's Saturday, and you know what that means. Saturday Smack Talk is back. We are here live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and now did pull the trigger and get Twitter Premium to go live and test that out and see how that goes. Just trying something new at this point since Facebook is never seems to hit for me, but we are going to give it a shot. So we're back, Saturday Smack Talk, episode 6, here on the Tiger Sports Network, powered by StreamYard. We're here, me and Josh. Josh, how's it going?
It's going. Full swing of college sports, NFL, of course, WWE. Lots of big things to talk about with that, and then of course we even got baseball coming up towards the end of the season, and we've got some wild scenarios right now. Some people that were counted out of the playoffs that are making a run to win the division. So and sneak into the playoffs. Everyone's getting hot at the right time. So exciting time of the year for a sports fan in general. Baseball, football, wrestling. It's all there, baby.
And the WNBA playoffs, they kick off tomorrow, all on ESPN. So that's going to be massive. I was looking into that more. Caitlin Clark is out for the playoffs. She has pretty much missed the entire season, unfortunately, which really sucks. But I saw some pretty cool numbers the other day about the WNBA and ESPN specifically, and more games being put onto there. Um, this was the most watched WNBA regular season ever on ESPN across all the networks there. Across 25 games, the season average was 1.3 million viewers, which is 6%, a 6% increase compared to last year and years before. And the most watched WNBA game on ESPN in history was Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever early in May. That was early in the season. And I believe Caitlin Clark did play in that one. They also featured 8 out of the top 10 most watched WNBA games during the season. And then the countdown show averaged 549 viewers, 49,000 viewers, which was a 7% increase. So massive stuff going on over there in the WNBA. But yes, playoffs are here for all the other main sports that are coming out going into the end of the season, and then basketball starting up and hockey starting up. The Penguins signed Marc-Andre Fleury, the longtime goaltender, to a tryout deal. I guess it's just one final time to let him finish it in Pittsburgh. But wrestling is heating up as we head into the fall, the winter time. Saudi show coming up. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, we have some other news on WWE and Saudi Arabia, but we're going to start it off with, of course, reviewing our weekly shows, and then can we're up to 5 matches for WrestlePalooza, which is next Saturday. So I guess we can kind of look into that here a little bit, but we start things off with Monday Night Raw on September 8th. LA Knight and the Vision continue their never ending storyline. This would lead to the main event, but LA Knight, the Vision and the Usos and LA Knight against the Vision. Um, I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over again. So I don't have much to say on the opening segment and the main event there. Your thoughts on once again seeing LA Knight in the mix with the Vision?
First of all, was Adam Pearce sick? Because this sounds like a Nick Aldis type of deal. Main event figured out in the opening promo. Get it together, guys. Now he's starting to infect Adam Pearce in Monday Night Raw. The thing that we loved about him so much is he had his stuff together. And we had a main event announced before the show started. As far as that's all I'm going to say about that. Adam Pearce, keep Nick Aldis away. As far as that opening promo, kind of predictable, standard. We knew what it was going to set up. I feel like they're just trying to make it to WrestlePalooza at this point. I don't expect anything major shifting. Just I think they're like I said, just trying to make the WrestlePalooza, uh, and they're probably going to keep the storylines where they're at right now and just work through the next week or so. They got two shows, two go home shows, and then it's WrestlePalooza. So
Yeah, I mean it's it, and that's
standard
about all
stuff.
they can do. About all they can do. So I see GS3 Production Canada official is here. Thank you for stopping by in the comment and subscribe to both the channels and on all the other platforms there as well.
I appreciate
Um, so yeah, appreciate someone new in the chat here and on this beautiful Saturday, and we'll get to the smack talk portion here after we throw some analysis down and go into in depths of a Raw and SmackDown, and then of course talk a little bit about WrestlePalooza, the first PLE on that's going to be on ESPN with WWE. I can't wait. It's going to be great and crazy to see. Just thinking about two or three massive names, brands, everything: ESPN, Netflix, and WWE, the three biggest in what they do. So it's going to be pretty cool to see that. We had also had another repeat match. AJ Styles did defeat El Grande Americano, and this time we're not sure if it's Chad Gable. We're not sure if it's Ludwig Kaiser. We're not sure if it was the Creed brothers because there was two more El Grande Americanos that showed up to help, um, or not and not help Dom. He helped Dom last night win the AAA Mega Championship, but an assist from Dragon Lee did lead to a Styles Clash for the win, and then more El Grande Americanos came out and attacked. Um, but Lee once again saved Styles. So, what are your thoughts on all these different El Grande Americanos just throwing a mask on here and there and saying go out there and do something?
Well, first of all, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. I don't think it's multiple El Grande Americanos. Just think he's so fast that the camera can't keep up with him. Is what it really is. It's just one guy. What are you talking about? No, I love it. Honestly, I think it brings a little bit of comic relief to the seriousness of the show, and they're doing it real well. I mean, I feel like they're rabbits. They're just having a million babies all the time. All right, and a million Grande Americanos coming out left and right. You never know how many you're gonna get. Is it gonna be one? Is it gonna be two? Is it gonna be three? Is it gonna be six this week coming out to help? Who knows?
You
But
never know at this point.
at this point, we can never get. I can't get enough El Grande Americano. I love it. I think it's still going strong, and I hope they keep it up for a little while longer. I think it's phenomenal.
Phenomenal, huh? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean it's the comedic relief like you said for sure. Um Thank you there, Sergeant Viper. We're there on Twitch. So yes, we are live across the Tired Sports Network and my Twitch as well. I know Josh is also live on Facebook, Twitter or TikTok. So that's awesome to get to
and
more and more people. I did try that last week, but it just what's up? The troublemaker wants to say hi to the world.
What? What did I do?
You know what you did. Yeah. So
This morning.
yeah. Yes. El Grande Americano, AJ Styles. It was again the same thing over and over again. Ultimately, I think it's going to lead to AJ Styles once again facing Dom for that title. Hopefully, Dom keeps it. He's now double champion, first Mysterio to be a double champion, first Mysterio to ever win the the AAA Mega Championship. Um, and
Wait,
it
that
was,
league has two
it,
champions?
mm-hmm,
Since when?
and that since last night. And yeah, that was pretty cool to see. Ray, I know we're not going into AAA, but Ray did put the title on him, and he did win. Um, Speaking of AAA last night, Raquel Rodriguez was not involved, but she was out there with Judgment Day. It was a mixed tag match, but Raquel Rodriguez did pick up a win Monday against Lyra. She, of course, targeted Lyra's back, and then Roxanne Perez was there for a distraction, and then she hit a Tahana bomb for the finish. So, your thoughts on Raquel Rodriguez and Lyra and the direction they're going? We seeing a Bailey come in to back with Lyra, or are the voices going to win in Bailey's head?
I think the voices are going to win in Bailey's head, which I am so excited for. Let's bring back crazy heel Bailey. I am all for it, 1,010%. Let's bring that back. As far as Raquel and Roxanne, typical Judgment Day finish. Nothing crazy. I want some direction from Raquel and Roxanne, though. I mean, are they going to be in the tag team picture? Are they just going to have singles matches and someone be a distraction or be a help? Like, let's get some. They were champs for a good bit.
Yeah, even after Liv was hurt.
Right, even after Liv was hurt, and they were good tag team champions. I was not disappointed in their matches. You know, give them some direction. Now they just seem kind of like they're there and they're just fighting whoever comes up, and I don't like that. Let's give this tag team some direction. I feel like this almost like they had a good direction with where they were going as a tag team, and we were just waiting for it to spill over when Liv comes back, and then now it's just kind of like dissipated, and they're not doing anything with it. And what's Liv going to have to be angry about when she comes back from her injury?
Yeah. And speaking of Liv, the announcement last night, they did a press conference style announcement there in Vegas where Worlds Collide was, and Liv Morgan was there. So she was, I guess SmackDown was in Norfolk, so she was in Vegas. So she didn't have a sling or anything on there, but she looked to be healthy. So who knows at this point, whenever she's going to actually come back. I know the way that it seems is they're going to continue to keep pushing Dom and separating that way, and then it's going to come down to they're still sprinkling in Roxanne going after Dom, but who knows when she's going to come back and how they're going to do it. I mean, Dom and Liv, they're going to need to work on some stuff because of how Roxanne entered, and they're going to be fighting over who is going to compete in the mixed tag challenge whenever they bring that back, because we are seemingly heading down that road with all the power couples being involved on the WWE roster. AJ Lee and CM Punk issue a challenge to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins for WrestlePalooza. AJ Lee came out next after Raquel and Lyra and threw the challenge down. Becky came out. Seth came out and accepted the challenge ultimately. AJ Lee still had the title, Becky's title, and then threw it. It was a great segment how they did it. Becky's reactions were fantastic. But AJ Lee and CM Punk, of course, we know, versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch is set for WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for AJ Lee to come back since CM Punk came back, and she's finally back. I love how they brought her into it. This also just gives me confirmation as to why they just so abruptly ended Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella, because Nikki Bella is no longer a power couple. And
on or off screen.
Right, on or off screen. So she obviously can't be in this this style of match. So I think it's going to be a great match. I'm really looking forward to it. The way they just ran those promos perfectly with Becky Lynch slapping CM Punk the week before, and then we kind of knew AJ Lee was going to come back based off what CM Punk said. But even though we knew, it did not deter from the massive pop and how good the promo was. It was just, it was perfection. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, it so far it's been great, and she did sign. It is a multi-year deal, multi-year full-time deal that she did sign with WWE. So more to come with AJ Lee, and talk more about Nikki Bella. Rusev, though, we went into Rusev versus Penta. Rusev would pick up the win there. New Day and Grayson Waller would interfere, and he sealed the deal very violently. Great match, great match overall. But no, I mean, nothing too exciting about it. I mean, it was a good overall match, but neither one of these guys are going towards getting on a PLE anytime soon. So I yeah, I mean, nothing to write home about or like really dive into. Rusev has the look, but doesn't get the push. Penta has the look, but I don't know. To me, I mean, he's kind of like Sami Zayn and mid card champion at best. But of course, that could change here in the near future. But your thought on Rusev and Penta?
Mid card match, good time filler. I mean, that's where they're at. They're mid card, like you said, at best. I don't foresee it changing for Rusev anytime soon. I don't see it changing at the earliest. I see anything changing for Rusev and going beyond mid card would be after WrestleMania at the
Yeah,
earliest. So,
yeah.
um, Penta, they need to push Penta 1,000%. Penta is good enough. I think he could have a mid card title. He's good enough. We could start pushing him a little bit further into the bigger, heavier weighted championship picture. Maybe not win it before the end of the year, but we could definitely start pushing him. He's extremely over with the fans. He's a talented wrestler. He's not a small, like, he's a luchador, but he's not a small luchador. If you look at
Yeah.
him compared to that face off in the promo with Rusev in front of Adam Pierce, he's not a small guy, but he moves and he flies like a small guy. And I would love to see them push Penta a little bit more. But as far as Rusev, I think he's still mid card at best. But he also hasn't been back very long, and he's had one feud for like 12,000 matches against Sheamus. And outside of them beating each other up throughout the arenas that they're at this point, I feel like that was Peter Griffin versus the Chicken.
Oh my God.
I feel
Yes.
like
Yes.
exactly what they did with that, and it didn't push anybody. It didn't push Sheamus. It didn't push um, Rusev. It was just Peter Griffin and the Chicken, WWE style.
That's a great that sums up what WWE has become with their weekly shows and rematches, and not paying off in the slightest bit at a PLE like it's supposed to.
Right,
And then just suddenly stopping them, and then jumping into something else, but then revisiting, and then jumping into something. It's insane.
right.
That is That's the perfect way to describe it. 1,000% such a great way to describe it there. And of course, now we're getting some Twitter views rolling in. So thank you guys, whoever is tuning in out there, on the Twitterverse there. Um, but yeah, I mean, Rusev and Penta, both great, both talented, but not not world title material. Although the way that they have the title on Cody, and he returned last night on SmackDown. Spoiler alert. Not that anyone was really waiting waiting too much longer for his return. Didn't even bring the title out. But we'll get into that whenever we actually get to SmackDown. But we roll into Asuka and Nikki Bella. Asuka would defeat Nikki Bella with an Asuka lock, and so she tapped her out. Of course, now they're throwing it out there. Asuka tapped out a Hall of Famer, like they don't already say every other time she comes out. She's a future Hall of Famer, and there is no doubt about that. But to say it every single night is kind of redundant. Just like the whole best in the world, greatest of all time conversation. Everyone can't be the best. So, although I mean, Asuka is one of the best ones, but of course she's not. She's no Becky Lynch. But Asuka would defeat Nikki Bella, and this would also then go back to another backstage segment where you would see Io, Nikki, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, and then Asuka was pushing into Nikki Bella, and she had to. Not my government name. Uh-oh. I don't know what that one was for, but Becky isn't old enough to be on Asuka's level. She's 45 and killing it. I mean, it okay, but Asuka wasn't the first woman to main event WrestleMania, to win the main event of WrestleMania. Um, yes, my full government name. But yeah, Nikki would Rhea Ripley is shoehorning her way back into this and staying involved with Io and Asuka and all that picture right there. Your thoughts on Asuka and Nikki Bella?
What's there to say?
My
I feel
point
like it's
exactly.
a female version of Rusev versus Penta.
My point exactly.
It's a good filler for the show, and Oscar's great. I'm surprised that Nikki Bella doesn't have a win yet, with her being such a popular Hall of Famer. But maybe this is just leading up to Nikki Bella's her time back isn't going as expected, and she's going to refocus, and she's going to prep, and she's going to train, and she's going to get back, and then she's going to have some major match. I feel like they're focusing more on a long term build with her than her coming in saying she's a Hall of Famer and she's so great and everything that she's done, and then winning immediately. So I hope it pans out well. I do think it's a long term build for her, which is crazy because they don't do that typically with Hall of Famers that come back like Nikki Bella and John Cena and all those guys. So I hope it pays off. It's going to be nice to have, if that is what they're doing, have Nikki Bella back for an extended period of time versus 1 or 2 months and then poof, they're just gone out of nowhere. So um, you know, we'll see. I hope they're building her up because you can't keep having Nikki Bella losing to everybody.
That is true. That is true. And yes, Ronda Rousey and Charlotte were in the match. It was a triple threat, and there was one winner, and that was Becky Lynch. That was the man. So Asuka wasn't a part of that. But yeah, I mean, all three. And those were the three to do it. Those were the three to make history. The storyline was way better than the match and the outcome of that from that side of it. But yeah, the storyline with WrestleMania 35 way back when. There's that storyline was fantastic with the three of them and all of that. So and Asuka wasn't part of that. So
Which is sad because now Ronda absolutely
oh
hates
yeah,
the WWE and the
oh yeah,
fans, trash talks everyone. So we'll just
yeah,
we'll just not acknowledge her.
yeah. Yeah, any chance she gets throw the smack talk down, she does not miss. Um, and at this point now, it should have been Becky, Asuka, and Charlotte, but
For
or the
sure.
four horsewomen in general. Bailey, Sasha. I mean, they were winning the tag or losing the tag titles at that point at WrestleMania 35, but we roll on to the main event. Big Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. He would pick up the win over LA Knight. Um, and of course, Braun Breaker would get involved, and then they would beat him down. Out comes Jimmy, and then out comes Jay. This was after we had a backstage run in with the Usos. Jimmy saying, "What are we going to help him?" And Jay was very much channeling his cousin in this sense, and said, "No, that he's done helping people that don't help him, and all that." So this was probably the best part was Jay kind of going back to Bloodline Jay that we have not seen in quite some time. But that was the main event, and we are back with the Usos are back. They will be featured on WrestlePalooza. So another tag team match, very tag team heavy is WrestlePalooza. But yeah, I mean, summing up the main event, not very main event ish. I wouldn't. That's pre-show at best. Pre-show at best.
So you say not very main eventish, but if we look at the track record recently, very main eventish, right? This is kind of what the main events of the house shows, not the house shows, but the weekly shows have been, right? Usually not typically a clear winner. Someone comes out and screws something up. If anything, I would say this is more main eventish because we did have a clear winner, Bronson Reed overpowering Knight, right? And then everything else happened. I don't want them to put the Usos back together. Jay is doing so well on his own. Jim, Big Jim, they need to push him a little bit more because he's talented. He's got everything there. He's been in as long as Jay. But I do like the idea of a heel Jay. I really love that idea, and they've kind of been planting the seeds here and there with the all black J,
Yep.
no bright colors.
Yep. No, no yeet, no
no
yeet on his
yeet,
glasses.
just
Not no
very,
yeet, but just the
right,
yeet ain't there.
right,
Oh.
very somber, and I think, uh, I think that's what we need. I want a heel J. I don't want to see the Usos back together. Now wait a second, hold on. Now my government name is being used.
Yeet.
Yeah, no,
No.
Jimmy is definitely long overdue for his singles runs, but I don't think they're going to make both of them heels. That's the problem. That's the problem. They're going to make Jay a heel, and Big Jim is going to be. It's going to be the angel and the devil on your shoulder, right? So Big Jim is going to be the angel, right? Clouded, covered in white, telling you to do the right thing, and then we're going to have Jay is going to be the devil on the other shoulder. Heel Usos tag team would be great, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think one's going to be a heel, one's going to be a face, and it's no.
But if they're going to be the devil and angel on the shoulders, whose shoulders are they going to be on? Is it going to be Jacob? Is Jay going to be the one to be all like, let me at him, and is Jacob going to walk into and be the voice of reason? When Jacob Fatu is the voice of reason, we got something seriously wrong here.
Right. Something has broken down. Code red. Here we go. But you can't have a tag team with a good guy and a bad guy. It's just not going to work out.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's how they split in the first place. So,
right. And
I
now they're going to
mean,
work together like that. It's just not. It's like fire
all
and ice.
take it all the way back to 2019 when Jay bullied Jimmy into folding in line. Yeah. I mean, and that is left to be seen if they actually team up those two with Jacob, and then ultimately all four of them, Roman, Jacob, and the Usos, and then they would still need one more for War Games, which is in November. Probably my early pick, although 2 months away at this point. How it's not really early anymore, but the Vision, Rollins, the Bronze, and then they'll have to add two more. Against Roman, the Usos, Jacob Fatu, um, and one more member of that third version of the bloodline at this point now, third or
Guess who's
fourth.
going to be You know who it's most likely going to be.
Don't say it.
He's got a red beard and long red hair.
Don't
It's going to
don't
be
don't
Sami Zayn.
don't say it. Don't say
It's
it.
going to be Sami Zayn. You know
Stop it.
this.
Stop it. That's
He's
worse
the
than you saying it's going to be Cody Rhodes. The
oh
Usos are the longest reigning tag team champs in WWE history, and they did it as heels. They got to run it back. Absolutely. Absolute vision is blurry. That's my
someone,
wife.
someone
That's
needs some
that's
basic.
that's my wife. The fact that she's talking about vision being blurry when man, I tell you, she's just sitting on the chair, refusing to wear glasses and needs them badly. And I say that as I'm sitting here wearing her headset, but if they shoehorn Cody into that, I'm gonna scream, and she will. She definitely will. And don't, yeah, yeah. You had to go and say it, didn't you, Josh?
I did. I did. I absolutely did. You know why? Because it makes this the most sense, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna put Sammy in there. It's he's part of the bloodline. I don't know why everyone's so against him being part of the
Hey,
war game.
I'm with you. I'm
He's an
with you.
honorary Oos, remember?
Sammy Uso. He goes back to
Yeah,
he was in the episode of Stephanie's Places with the Bloodline, so that must
yeah,
make it official.
absolutely. Sammy Uso will be in there with War Games with Roman and the Usos and Jacob Fatu.
Hey, I it's Sammy is better than Cody finding his way. I will into the match. I will say that. Just like we ended SmackDown last night with Cody Rhodes' return. At the main event, Drew McIntyre uh, did defeat Randy Orton with a Claymore kick, and then was going to do the same thing he did to Cody 4 weeks ago. Now we are in going into month 2. Not only have we seen Cody twice since he's won the title at SummerSlam, but he's not defended it yet at all. He's been too busy filming movies and doing this and doing that. Not my bad vision catching straight. Well, you can't see him, so you can't stop him. I was
Don't
gonna
worry,
say
they're
that's a
butter. They
nice
can't see
heads.
it
um, yeah, Cody would finally come back. Hasn't defended the title since he got it. Never should have got it back. Um, but that was the main event there. It was, and this time it was advertised last week. They did talk about this match. They didn't declare it as the main event until the show. Now, could figure and take away that this was going to be the main event. So we got to give props to Aldis when props are due. But thoughts
doesn't
on
happen
the
often.
does not happen. It does not. Just like certain someone actually wearing their glasses does not happen often. So when it does, it needs to be celebrated. But your thoughts on the main event of SmackDown last night?
I mean, it's Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. I love it. I've said this the last 3 weeks. You're never gonna have anything bad, whether it's a promo, whether it's a shoot, whether it's a match. Nothing bad is ever gonna happen with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. Two vets, one a long-time vet and an all-time Hall of Famer, gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Drew McIntyre is just king narcissist over here. Like, I mean, his promos are great, his matches are great, he's got the build, I mean, I'm always up for a Drew McIntyre Randy Orton match. I don't care if they're heels, I don't care if they're faces, I'm always up for it. It's gonna be a great match every time. And you never know who's going to win because they're just powerhouses that can end the match out of nowhere. Of course, Cody Rhodes returns post match to attack McIntyre, and
Yep.
it's I, we talk about Cody Rhodes hasn't defended it yet, and he's only showed up twice, but I mean, he's beaten everybody, like everything or almost everybody. The big
He
names
beat
anyway.
Carmelo Hayes. 2 years ago at this point on the Raw after WrestleMania when he won it the first time.
Was it
And it buried Carmelo Hayes. It's taken him 4 months. It took him 4 months to even, I think, get back on TV. And then they've done that a couple times here and there. AJ Styles twice. Logan Paul technically wasn't for the title. Gunther technically wasn't for the title. I mean, he's been protected. Yeah, he's beaten people, but he's been protected. I mean, he beat Solo, 3 times or whatever, but again, he was protected with those wins. They could have. I mean, he's not. He's beaten people, but they run the same feud with him and anyone that he's beat. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Logan, Solo. Those were the 4 people that he faced for the title in 9 matches for the title. In the first run, and now this one he hasn't faced anyone yet. And Cena, of course, he lost Cena and then beat Cena, but I mean that was a month and a half ago at this point.
Has he not faced Drew McIntyre yet?
No,
Because I know
nope,
they feuded.
mm-mm. No. They started it 2 weeks ago because McIntyre was with Punk. They quickly
That,
talked and had a run in, but
that's right.
McIntyre was feuding with Punk for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I mean that should tell you. I guess that should tell you anything you want to know about Cody Rhodes. Is I feel like now that we're just running through the same feuds over and over again. So obviously his run has not been super fantastic. If I'm like, oh, they've already done this before, they had to have. So yeah, well, I'm sure it'll be a great match. You know, like I said, anything really with McIntyre in it, I love it. Promos, matches. I mean, the guy's he's at an all-time peak right now, and we'll see. I don't see them taking the belt off Cody though.
I mean, I definitely don't either. I act funny enough looking it up to see. Um, 1 year ago today, Cody defended the title against Solo Sikoa in a steel cage match, and that was the debut of SmackDown on USA. And guess what? It was overshadowed by the return of Roman Reigns. So just like when he won it or when he defended it at SummerSlam as well, that was also overshadowed by Roman Reigns. Um, just throwing that out there. Drew, at this point, everyone knows how I feel about Drew. Um, Drew should definitely take the strap. He's at this point he's the best thing SmackDown has weekly, and he just beat Randy Orton. So also backstory on their rivalry: 12 times they have faced each other. Each had 4 wins. There was 2 no contests. So this one was the grudge match, was the deciding factor in their long overall rivalry. Drew is now, of course, up 5 wins to 4. I don't think they need to run that one back for another couple of months at least. Um, Cody's first run was super de duper mid. Running it back is it's absolutely insane. And yeah, I mean, it's time. It is time. There's no reason why Drew shouldn't win at WrestlePalooza. And I'm trying to find Cody's um, matches with the title just because I am curious. I know I put this out there before, but Cody faced. I'm pretty sure it was like on average he had, of course, his fans and the Cody Crybabies. They include live shows or whatever. But yeah, they yeah it's crazy that he is protected as he is. Drew and LA Knight are the 2 biggest stars without the titles on both on Raw and Smack. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they keep throwing the title on Cody, and I mean it's bad. Seth is doing great stuff, but it is LA Knight's time. Um, for sure, they both deserve the title at this point. And when I'm saying Drew deserves the title, it yeah, it's
It will
I
not
hope it
happen
happens at
at WrestlePalooza
WrestlePalooza.
though. I don't see it happening at WrestlePalooza. I see it happening at a much bigger event, one that every wrestling fan knows and loves. I see Drew McIntyre having his WrestleMania moment, having it not ruined by a Money in the Bank or a CM Punk. I see a WrestleMania win for a title for Drew McIntyre. Give him
How
his
does how do we get there though? How do we get there? If he's
well.
feuding with Cody now, how do we get back? How do we get him back to that?
I think Drew gets screwed. Drew gets screwed by someone. Maybe Randy Orton. Not out of the realm of possibilities of him to
Yeah.
do that with Drew McIntyre. He did almost punt him,
Yeah.
right? He did almost punt him. He heard the voices, and the ref saved Drew McIntyre from being punted. So obviously, there's something there that's got Randy Orton just absolutely despising Drew McIntyre that he's tried to punt him in his match. So maybe Randy Orton screws him. We have, unfortunately, it leads to a feud with McIntyre and Punk, or McIntyre and Orton. But that's how you keep the belt on Cody Rhodes, and you figure out how to build up a storyline for him to win at WrestleMania. I think he deserves the belt for sure, but I also think he deserves his WrestleMania moment to win the belt.
I mean, he definitely deserves that the moment with a crowd and everything. But let him take the title next week and then hold it through WrestleMania. That way he doesn't need to run it back and win the Royal Rumble and then get there and then ultimately lose. Because I mean, Cody losing, I don't think they'll have Cody lose at WrestleMania 2 years in a row. I mean, that would be, I could see them being, oh, this is his blah 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 main event in a row, but now he's lost. Say he would lose 2 years in a row. That'd be 4 losses in 5 years, or well, since or because he came back in 23, and he won. He technically only would have 2 wins in 6 WrestleManias. So, because night one and night two or whatever, or however the math there works, I don't think they're going to have him lose at Mania again. So, not having him not have the title, um, or they would just shoehorn and make it a triple threat and have him not take the pin, so that he can claim that he has a rematch and he can claim that he didn't lose. But
Yeah, they still got plenty of time to figure it out. Ultimately, I want Drew to win the belt, but I don't want him to win it at a last minute slap together PLE that ESPN just wants to, essentially buy out Peacock and start throwing stuff out there. I think it's very not degrading, but demeaning to Drew winning his title. Right, the guy's worked so hard. He's great at everything that he does, from his promos to being a narcissist to his matches to gaslighting everyone and thinking he's the victim. Every feud he's been in has been phenomenal, and I don't want to see his moment be wasted at a WrestlePalooza that was slapped together at the last minute. It was what, a month? Not even a month before they announced the actual event.
It did come together super quick, for sure.
Money
But
grab.
it is, I mean, it did come together super quick. It is a money grab, but it also is the first one on ESPN. They're gonna throw out the phrase, "It's a new era. It's a new this. It's a new that." Um, I mean, but hey, if they do it this weekend, or next weekend, if they don't do it next weekend, I mean, if they do it, it's only up from here. If they don't do it, then what? Cody goes away for another 3 weeks and does the exact same thing that everyone was getting pissed at Roman for doing. Now it's okay with because Cody's doing it. I mean, it's this is insane.
Well, you know, Roman wasn't here just because Roman wasn't here. Cody Rhodes has at least been filming a movie,
Which
and
now Roman is now filming for that same movie. So
so he's going to be out, and that's kind of why he got injured, you know, taken out on a stretcher because he's filming as well. But before, I think everyone's problem with Roman before was he was just out because he was out, not because he was filming a movie or because there was like maybe some family issues at home or something like that, or before when he had that title run, he was the champ that just wasn't there just because he just wasn't there. You know,
but it worked because when he did come back, we knew we were in store and it had that big fight feel.
right,
And with Cody, there is no big fight feel. He can go away and then come back, and it's like, okay, who cares? Didn't even notice that he was gone. With
right.
Roman, you knew he was gone, and it sucked. But then when he came back, the excitement returned.
Also, major difference: Roman was a heel.
I mean,
Give
Cody's
us
still doing
heel
some heel
Cody.
like stuff.
Give us heel Cody, and then maybe the fan base won't be so upset if he's gone for a little bit. Maybe we'll start to have that big fight feel. Let's get heel Cody. You
I've,
have
I've been I've been saying that for quite some time, and Cody
yeah,
he still does heel like stuff. I mean, so they just need to do it. They need to do it, especially because he wants to say that I was the champion without the title for 2 years, and all he did the Super Cody, the Super Cena or whatever, and now he comes back last night and he tells McIntyre that the champ is back, and then he stole Cena's thing. And then he said, I'll see you at WrestlePalooza. And he did it WrestlePalooza like The Rock. So he was doing both. He continues to play that to sit on the fence.
yeah. It's I really hope they do something with this run. As far as Drew McIntyre, flat out, I don't want him to waste his championship moment on WrestlePalooza on a money grab. That's really, let's be honest, I think there's a specific reason for that day because doesn't that coincide with one of AEW's biggest pay-per-views as
Yes. Yep.
well?
It is. They, like Martina mentioned, they are once again competing directly with All Out. And funny enough, All Out is the first pay per view for AEW that's going to be on HBO Max. Um, and they moved the start time to 3 o'clock. So next week, 3 o'clock is All Out, and then of course I think 7 or 8 is WrestlePalooza on ESPN. And so it's going to be a fun day of of a long fun day of wrestling. And I did finally find Cage Match and all the 10 title matches that Cody did have. So starting with when he won it at WrestleMania back in April of 24, and then he defeated AJ Styles. So we're gonna count how many opponents he had on the first one. So is AJ Styles the first time. He ran it back with AJ Styles again, so that was two. He also faced Logan Paul, and it was for the title, so that was another opponent. And then he defeated Solo Sikoa the first time at SummerSlam. So
Yes, an
third,
expensive day of wrestling. You are correct, Martina.
that was the first one. They ran it back a year ago today on SmackDown. So he faced Solo twice. And then he faced Kevin Owens in between those Solo Sikoa matches. He faced Kevin Owens once, twice, and 3 times. So I had
That
a
was a
trilogy
great
with
year, though.
Kevin Owens. And then he lost to John Cena. So John Cena, and that was the first title reign. That was it. He had 10, technically 9 defenses after he won. After he won it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though, I did really love that feud with Kevin Owens though.
Oh, that was the best one. But
That
Kevin should have won the title the first time, the first match.
Yeah, they weren't gonna do that. You know they're not gonna do that. You know,
If
Cody Rhodes
anything,
Drew McIntyre at WrestlePalooza. They better because Drew's better than winning at a last minute, trying to take out the competition type of pay per view or
I mean,
PLE.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
give,
it
give me McIntyre at WrestleMania, not WrestlePalooza.
the Crown Jewel could also be an option. They're going to be in Australia. That's another big moment they'll push, I'm sure.
I'm standing firm. Drew McIntyre WrestleMania championship win. Nothing bigger than WrestleMania, especially in Vegas. They're running back in Vegas. I mean,
Yeah, I don't see how they can have Cody lose 2 years in a row in the same venue, and ultimately, again, bring his his WrestleMania record from 23 to what two wins in 3 years, but technically with the double main event or whatever it is. Um, but hey, who knows? We'll get there. We'll get there at some point. But just like another uh, another person we've talked about, Sami Zayn, brought back the U.S. Open Challenge last week against Cena. Would pick up a win, and now this week he did do that again, and he got a win over Ray Phoenix. This was a great match. It was cool to see Ray Phoenix on SmackDown as Penta was in Vegas. SmackDown was in Norfolk, Virginia last night, so that was cool to see Ray Phoenix on SmackDown. Um, and it's pretty cool to see Sami Zayn kind of has taken a step up with the open challenge, and if he's going to actually be the champion on SmackDown that does wrestle, I mean, then Sami Uso as the US champ, I'm not mad about it. And next week we do have Carmelo Hayes is going to be his opponent for next week and the next open challenge. Keep in mind, same company took Roman from a 13-16 day reign, getting bullied and getting his shoes stolen.
well, now to be fair, this is very '90s style bullying. Okay,
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't just one person bullying him, and it was Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, two of the biggest, strongest, fastest people in the company. Like, there's a reason that Seth Rollins included them into the vision. They're powerhouses, and if you got both of them attacking you at once, there's really not many people that are gonna win that. If we're just being completely honest, the odds were massively stacked against Roman Reigns, and that was before Jay and Jimmy were coming out and helping him.
yeah. I mean, this is true. Um,
Now, if he was,
WrestleMania 43
oh,
inside. Oh my.
we'll talk about that in a little bit. We got some
Yeah,
opinions
yeah.
on that.
We'll save that for the end because we've derailed here with SmackDown, but McIntyre, he picked up that win last night over Orton. Sami Zayn, of course, defeated Ray Phoenix. That would roll into Julia versus BFAB, which ended in a no contest. Some backstage interactions. Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. Piper Niven was not with them. We're seen talking to Nick Aldis for a tag title match, and he did grant it to them. Charlotte and Alexa are defending the titles against Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame at NXT Homecoming on Tuesday, which is Josh back at Full Sail in Full Sail Live, which is where we graduated at. So that's kind of cool. And we also know that Miz went to Aldis for a tag title shot for him and Mello. But Mello on the again, like I said, stepped to Sami Zayn for next week's U.S. Open Challenge, and lurking in the back of both these segments was Shinsuke Nakamura. So that is kind of where the mid card and tag team division sit right now. Of course, the Wyatt Six still the tag champs. They did show up at Worlds Collide and attacked the Psycho Killer Clowns or whatever for who have the AAA tag titles. I know that was a lot of couple different segments there, but overall thoughts on the mid and tag team divisions.
Tag team division, super talented. I love it. I think they could literally do anything, and they could throw something together last minute, which I know that's what Nick Aldis does. But I love the tag team division. So many great teams in that tag team division. It's absolutely awesome, as Martina said.
Awesome. Don't miss. Mello don't miss.
Mello don't miss. I mean, they're stacked, and I love it because the WWE hasn't had a stacked tag team division in how long?
Since the Usos had the titles, when they were beating anybody and everybody. You had RK Bro.
Yeah.
You had the Usos.
Yeah.
And you had, I mean, AJ Styles and Omos. You had the Mysterios. You had I know, try to control your excitement for mentioning Omos. You know it's pretty bad when I'm bringing up Omos and when I'm saying McIntyre should win the title. They should have saved the Clowns and the Wyatts closer to Halloween. Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great, and then do a cinematic match at the new haunted house thing in Orlando surrounding the Wyatts and Bray Wyatt and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, the tag team division right now is absolutely stacked. It's on fire, and you've got just an unlimited amount of potential and ways different directions they can take it. So I'm excited to see where they take the tag team division. As far as the mid card, not super excited about their mid card. It's mid card and it's mid at best. So we're like super mid times two. It is what it is, and we got what was it? Tiffany versus Jade.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Mid card title.
Bro. Speaking of mid card, my goodness, Riddle is going off a cliff. With him and Ronda Rousey. They took it personally whenever people start to talk about how they just can't stop talking about WWE now that they are not with, or the UFC for that matter. Ronda Rousey, I saw somewhere she said that there's no way in hell she would even think about coming out of retirement to fight at the White House, even if she was offered. So I think it's funny that she knows she's not going to be offered, but just in case we wanted to know or care if she was, she wouldn't do it. So same with Riddle. I mean, I don't know what Riddle is doing. I don't know what Ronda Rousey is doing. Why they can't stop just running their mouths about a place that they don't even work for at this point anymore. It's ridiculous.
Someone find Holly Holmes' number, please. Ronda clearly needs another kick to the head. Clearly needs
Holly Holmes. She's killing it. I believe she signed with PFL now, or she is having a fight with the PFL at some point.
Yeah, well, let's get her from the PFL and just have her give one good solid kick to Ronda Rousey. I'm tired of hearing about her. I'm tired of her comments. She's a former UFC champ that I feel like really just took advantage of the lack of talent in that division.
Oh yeah.
and because there really wasn't anybody that could compete with her because she was such a powerhouse. And then as soon as somebody did, that kick to the head ended her career. Let's be so serial
Yeah,
here, right? Ended her
she
career.
yeah she once wanted to. Yeah, she claims that she wasn't allowed to do the stuff that she wanted to do in WWE. And of course, we know how she is about the schedule. She cried and complained about the schedule. And
And
then
she
I
was
saw also saw. Hmm?
and she was
Oh
a part
yeah,
time on top of that. Like
yeah.
you could think about a part time schedule. Like
She also made a statement about like she she was told to tap out to Becky whenever they were building to 35 and she wouldn't do it and she refused it. That was when Becky had her in the arm bar or disarm her or whatever. And she was saying like she or her mom would disown her. And even when she was in judo or whatever, she wouldn't tap out and she just doesn't do that, and she would let her arm be dislocated or whatever. But yeah, just the comments constantly about WWE in general and just everything that she has to say. Same with Riddle. Same with Riddle. Got to cut not the malarkey. We're rooting for him. Same birthday, but he's got to cut the malarkey.
yeah. Well, I mean, he. I'm reading it now. It says he called Punk a creep and claimed that AJ
Yep.
Lee got around.
Yep. Yep.
First of
Yep.
all, Riddle. Let's talk about Riddle here, Mister. I can't stay sober. Okay, the arcade, the bro version of Jeff Hardy back in the day, right? There's a reason. Like, can't pass a drug test. Okay, Seth Rollins hit the nail on the head. Doesn't have his kids, right? And that
Now
just
he has a new one. He has a new one.
great. He'll probably lose that one here soon too. But I know this how the system works, and it takes a lot to not be able to see your kids in the court system. You have to be a real crappy person and crappy parent for that. So Matt Riddle, stop. You are no
Full
role
stop.
model. You don't get to talk about anybody. You are the modern day bro version of Jeff Hardy back in the day when he was dealing with problems. Period. End of story. Shut up, Riddle. Holly Holm. Go kick Ronda Rousey in the head. Done with these two. Next. So tired of these guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
I got a little heated on that, but
hey, it is what it is. I was never a Riddle fan. I mean, it was I just didn't get it. And I guess I mean, like you said, he can't stay sober. Dana White had those comments as well. Used to love Ronda so much. I was a Ronda fan too. I was. It was always her music was great. She could have been great. But she ultimately wanted to wrestle with and then against Shayna. So they did it how they did it, and good if she doesn't want to be here, like Cameron Hayward said. And it's funny that I'm quoting using his quote, even though surrounding the drama with him. Um, either want to be his quote was, "You either want to be a Steeler or you don't," and it's same thing. If you either want to be in the WWE or you don't. So um,
yeah, exactly. If you don't want to be, shut up about the people that are, and shut up about the fans that love it.
exactly. And just stop talking about the company. Just let it go.
We
Same
don't.
with the UFC with Riddle. He can't stop talking about it. So that does go into, like you said, Tiffany and Jade did have their rematch from SummerSlam, and this one ended with a double countout. So we could probably see them run it back at WrestlePalooza. There's a great point about Riddle. I like Jeff Hardy, always rooted for him, fellow North Carolinian. He's doing better now, but it was a long road. That is true.
Yeah,
Very,
no,
very
it
true.
absolutely was. But like I said, Matt Riddle, he's the modern day version of that bad version of Jeff Hardy back in the day. I mean, the way I see it, we don't talk trash about his love of drugs, so he should stop talking trash about our love of WWE.
I mean,
Sorry,
I
I had to go
yeah,
there.
it's pretty crazy that people just want to just
Yep,
talk,
yep, yep,
just
yep, yep.
talk, 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 talk. I mean, we can management teams have the easiest jobs ever because they do nothing to help their public images. That's
I
fantastic.
don't think they have a management team. It seems like at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. People not having anyone to tell them, hey, don't say this, don't
Yeah,
say anything stupid. I mean, you shouldn't need to have someone in your ear to telling you not to say something stupid. But um, Tiffany and Jade double count out. They could run it back. Wrestlepalooza. That was a better match, or would be a better match than waiting for. Hold on, the troublemaker, the troublemaker is here.
Uh-oh.
Nick, I mean, um, I just wanted to say
Uh-huh.
that sometimes I don't really want you to say troublemaker. I mean, this is on YouTube, and I don't want like people to have their kids go watch this and like say that I'm a bad kid and comment, "Ooh, your daughter just got roasted."
Okay.
Especially when it comes to the crazy men.
Okay. Is that it? That was your announcement
Yes.
there, Tony Khan?
And whoever's watching this, I did get in trouble, but it wasn't that bad. So mind your business.
All right. I don't know if the mic picked up on that. Your mom says hey.
Okay.
She said okay. Um, that was great. Last week Bella made their debut. Now the little one makes her debut. So
So,
can
quick talk just to catch you up. By the way, nobody is bashing us, but we were talking about Ronda Rousey and Matt Riddle bashing here recently the WWE, the fan base, and actually some current professional wrestlers that are in WWE as well. So, yeah, but they're nobody big. Ronda Rousey and Matt Riddle, no one big anymore.
oh, her hair is cute. Who did it? Do an edges reveal. She's she's already on to the next. She's over there playing with the pillow. But yes, my beautiful wife did do that fantastic hair, um, and she's now finding other ways to entertain herself. So can run through the rest of SmackDown, which isn't much. Brock Lesnar would kick off the show and would be interrupted by R-Truth. It would
Our
hit
Ron Cena, sir. Ron,
Ron Cena, right? John Cena's younger brother. Yes, Ron Cena. Um, no. Uh, Brock would hit him with an F5, back to back F5s, and would also rip his pants. That was more of a highlight of the night than Cody returning. Um, and so that was SmackDown. That was Raw. Other news, of course, is boxing on Netflix tonight. Canelo and Crawford, presented, being put on by TKO and Dana White. So they've been advertising that like crazy on WWE programming, of course, just to push Riyadh season because of course it is being put on by Turkey, and the Saudi, the Saudi team over there with Ring Magazine and all that stuff. Also, boxing news: we are under 60 days away from Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, which will also be on Netflix. Which it probably won't get the hype of Canelo and Crawford just
right.
because of
It's
Jake
Canelo.
and butting heads with TKO and Dana White. And speaking of the Saudis, WrestleMania 43 is officially going to Saudi Arabia in 2027, just like the Royal Rumble is next year. We do now have an official date for the Rumble, January 31st. Um, but dude, Brock is too big for his britches, literally. Um, yeah. So Canelo. I mean, your excitement for Canelo and Crawford.
I'm picking Canelo on this one. I mean, Canelo is a generational fighter. He's arguably one of the greatest to ever do it. And so, if I'm betting money on Canelo. As far as Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, yeah, I don't. You know, I still think his biggest fight was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, just because it was Mike Tyson. It's definitely not going to hit the hype that Canelo will bring. I feel like Canelo's top of the game. He's the pinnacle of boxing right now. Anything Canelo is in is going to pull the numbers. Jake Paul likes to say that he pulls the numbers, but he doesn't ever compete when Canelo is competing. And in the world of boxing, I know Jake Paul's ranked, right? But I think if you're in the world of boxing and you've got true boxing fans, they're gonna watch Canelo's fight over Jake Paul, because for the most part, he's his his run has been against a lot of retired UFC fighters, So I still think Canelo is going to be the bigger draw, but and I'm picking Canelo to win. Jake Paul, I'm gonna pick him to win. By true skill or buyout, Jake Paul is gonna win. We'll throw a little conspiracy theory in there, and then WrestleMania 43. 2 words: sell out.
Money grab.
Money grab.
So just before we run into yeah, we can start the smack talk a little bit because I will and I do um defend and will die on this hill of Jake and what he's done for boxing because I wouldn't be watching boxing without Jake. Wouldn't be watching women's boxing without Jake. Uh, just put on the all women's card on Netflix in Madison Square Garden for Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano 3 and that trilogy and all women on the card. What he's done for women's boxing, what he's done for boxing in general, bringing it to Netflix. That was the first boxing event on Netflix, and it was massive in AT&T Stadium in Jerry's World. Um, and it absolutely. I mean, you can say, okay, he retired UFC guys, whatever, but when you bring their name and when you bring Jake Paul's name to an event and their skill level in boxing, yes, they're retired UFC guys, whatever. But a lot of them still boxed a lot more than Jake has boxed. It started as the YouTube thing, and he quickly went to facing started with the YouTuber, and Deji went to Gib, another YouTuber, and then he went to Nate Robinson, which was an athlete, still probably more involved in the world of athletics than Jake. And then of course you have him get the big knockout, which was on the Mike Tyson card, which was hilarious. That it came full circle at that point. Then you get to Tyron Woodley, who was still in great shape and looked great in the ring. I wish he would come back. I wish KSI would fight him. Um, but of course, then they run it back, and you have him beat him twice. Um, and yeah, it would be better to see him fight, boxers around the same age as Tommy Fury, who is the only one to beat him. Tommy Fury was still knocked down and still was on the canvas. But that was a close fight. Should have been a draw, to be honest. And I wish they would run the Tommy fight back, but they're going with Gervonta, and I think it's still an exhibition, so it won't count for the records or anything. But Jake does he does draw numbers for the Zone, for ESPN Plus, for Showtime, and for Netflix. I mean, we saw how bad it was. It was buffering a year ago with the first of its kind live sporting event on Netflix, and then of course that did roll into uh, you know Raw on Netflix on January 6th, wherever that comment was from Martina here, but yeah, Jake's done a lot for boxing, and we could really test that with if we would have gotten the Canelo and Jake fight, but Turkey threatened to pull his deal for the 3 fights that he has left. So I mean, I get it. Hopefully, we can get that fight eventually, just for the sake of getting it. Then Jake, he's gone from being super active to now just being smart about it, and like you said, he is ranked, and hopefully he starts to. Problem is with him being ranked, facing other ranked boxers in his division, no one knows who they are. So why waste the Netflix promotion and everything like that on guys that no one knows who they are? He has to bring in well-known names, because other than that, like then you just put it on DAZN and for free or whatever. But I mean, I see why he does the way he does it. I don't necessarily like every one, but I mean, they do put on it is a great time going to those events.
Now, to caveat that though, if he does start facing boxers in his division and he starts winning, more credibility to him.
I agree.
The numbers are going to be there, right? Because we've discussed this. That Jake Paul brings in numbers, right? So I think even if it's a no-name boxer, if there's the intrigue or the aspect that, oh, okay, he's ranked. Now he's not fighting a retired UFC fighter who 90% of their arsenal is gone, right? Because while they have boxed, if you ask any UFC fighter, that's not their bread and butter. 99% of the time, that's not their bread and butter. And I think if he starts fighting ranked boxers in his division, if he wins, then I think that'll bring more credibility, and you're going to get the numbers for every ranked boxing match that he has. And it moves him up, it brings up his credibility, and then people can't argue with him. At some point, though, he is going to have to start facing current active boxers in his division, especially now that he's ranked. When you put a ranking on, you are, in my opinion, accepting the responsibility of, hey, I'm ranked. I need to start fighting other ranked opponents within my division, current active boxers that are currently in the game and training every day, and they have a camp and they have trainers and they do this professionally for a living. If that's what he's looking for, the credibility, then yeah, he needs to start fighting boxers. Not retired boxers, not retired UFC fighters, not exhibition celebrity matches, no Mike Tyson matches. I mean, you'll get the numbers if you truly are as good as you say and you're beating these current boxers. Because as of right now, the only current boxer he's faced, he's lost to. And that's his current resume. Whether anybody thinks it should be a draw or not, against the current boxer, Tommy Fury, he's lost. Start building that credibility. Let's face current active boxers. Let's see how good you really are against the best in the world at this point, other ranked active boxers. I'm ready to see it. I've seen some of his fights. Let's get rid of the gimmicky, fights. Let's do this thing, right? You got me intrigued. You said you're the best in the world. I want to see it. Let's do this.
He should just do MMA. We're still waiting for him to get to the PFL. I just want to pull this up here. So this is the WBA where Jake is ranked. He's ranked 14th. And I mean, with the other names on here, if you recognize any of these names, let me know. But I don't know. This is the Badu Jack is the he's the WBC champion. So I don't even know if the WBA has a champion. I think the issue, what it boils down to, is that Jake and MVP, he's trying to do and make his own promotion, um, and he's doing that by signing other athletes to make and build names under the MVP promotion, because the WBA, WBC, they are promotions, so they have their own titles. The MVP hasn't made a serious title of their own yet. But I mean, it again, he fighting other boxers. He's fought Ryan Borland, who had a record of 17-1. Andre August was 10-0-1. That was the fight that I went to. Um, and it was great. It ended quick. And I guess that goes to, they are boxers, but, being active is a part of it for sure. For sure. Definitely is. He fought Nate Diaz, who boxed in all of his training camps while in the UFC. He wanted to box to start, but the UFC came to him first. So, that it is what it is. That was Nate's debut. He put Nate on the canvas as well. Same with Mike Perry. Mike Perry, bare knuckle craziness. I know it's different than boxing, so I do get that part, but it's you got to give it when you're taking it. I mean, he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, and he gets a lot of hate. Even though from people not seeing it both sides. Anderson Silva had a 3-1 record before they fought, and Jake, I know age there is the same factor.
Yeah,
But
he
I
was
mean,
washed when he left UFC. He was kind of washed there towards the end of his career. Like, there's a reason he retired from UFC. I did watch a lot of Anderson Silva's fights, and there towards the end, it wasn't the same Anderson Silva that we saw before. But let's do this. You're ranked in WBA, right?
yep.
And that is the premier boxing league in the entire world.
I think the
So,
WBC edges it out. I don't know. I don't know boxing. I don't
yeah,
know the different league. I know that they have so many, and that's how they can do like, undisputed, and just have a guy have both titles or whatever.
right.
Which is, that shows how archaic boxing is. And Jake has revamped it, and he's a disruptor, and he's disrupted everything about it. But the fights that he puts on, the production is there, the entertainment value is there, and the competitiveness is there. There's always championship fights on his cards. And I agree. I think, if he would actually fight, the thing is, I think if he would actually fight these other guys who are ranked, everyone and their mom would be like, I don't know who this guy is. And they would think it's just another taxi cab driver, like they said about Ryan Borland and Andre August. I mean, so you need the names.
Marketing.
You need the names to market and sell the fight. And, Netflix isn't going to give him the money that they give him for fighting Joe Schmo, who's ranked by the WBA, but no one knows who it is. So they think it's another Ryan Borland fight. This time it's just on Netflix, and they're not going to care. So if you have the name of these great combat athletes going up against Jake, and you think, okay, there's no way that he's going to win, and then he wins in the ways that he does, and puts him on the canvas, and I mean, lights out to Nate Robinson, lights out to Tyron Woodley, and they have basically, it evens the playing field of their combat experience and Jake's combat experience, because he's only been doing this for 6 or 7 years at this point, if not
Well,
more.
now with that though, it is also Jake Paul. Like, you know, easily between him and Logan, easily the two easiest people to market in the entire world right now. They're literally all over the world. So I almost feel like it wouldn't matter who he's facing if his team markets it right or markets it at all. I think Jake Paul's going to get exactly. Martinez said it best. They will watch on his name alone.
Right,
Right.
but they're gonna watch, sure, but just like they're gonna watch if it's Anderson Silva, if it's Mike Tyson, Chavez Jr., but they're still the discredit part is gonna be there. He's not gonna get, everyone says and tries to put it on, If you fight actual boxers, if you fight actual ranked boxers, whatever, then the respect will be there. But if no one knows who this guy is that he's fighting, they're going to assume it's another, like I said, taxi cab driver, and they're not going to know who it is. They're not going to know that the guy he's fighting is a real boxer.
Well, and if he wins, let's say the viewership isn't as high. He's still going to have one. Let's just admit to this fact. Jake Paul's going to bring in viewership. Period. Doesn't matter who he fights. It may not be as high because nobody knows his opponent. But guess what? If he beats him and he beats him solidly, let's say solidly, or a knockout, doesn't even finish the match, knocks this guy out, that's when the real marketing can begin. Now you say, oh, this guy was an active boxer to the world. And then everyone's like, oh, Jake Paul fought a real boxer, an active boxer, not a taxi cab driver, as you were saying. Wins the next fight. Let's see this. Let's see what happens. And then not only are you going to get the marketing, you're going to get the viewership for Jake Paul's name on the next card. But now people are going to be like, oh, he did knock out a boxer. Now you're going to get more people in on the next fight. And then the next fight if he wins that one. And the next fight if he wins that one. And it's going to build. I mean, the viewership, I think, is still going to be there for the first match against a boxer, no matter who it is. But once he gets past that first fight, the numbers are going to be astronomical if he fights another boxer in his second match, an active boxer within his division. And that's the thing, is he's gonna get numbers in his first match just off his name alone. If he wins and it's a solid win or a knockout, he's gonna make up whatever in the next fight. He's gonna make everything that he didn't have in the first one up in that second fight. I think that's the best way I can make that, explain that is, yeah, you may not have as much. You're still going to have a ton. But if you win and it's a solid win, even if it's a no name, your viewership for your next boxing match against the WBA opponent that nobody knows is going to double, maybe even triple with him. So, you're going to have to maybe take a little bit of a decline in viewership, but you're going to skyrocket 10 times more afterwards. So I think it would be great with him. He's got the marketing team. Logan Paul's got the marketing team.
For sure.
Logan Paul will not be afraid to put a plug in WWE for his brother, Jake Paul, and his boxing match. I mean, the marketing's there.
For sure. And I see the point there. They might have to take a step back of being on Netflix and just run it on DAZN, and do a couple of DAZN pay-per-views. Although, I'm with him, and I think the DAZN or the pay-per-view model is being pushed out. So I don't know what DAZN. I think DAZN, it's still a monthly subscription and pay-per-view, or you can just do the DAZN monthly subscription. So they might increase the price. But there's different ways that they can see it, because they are building up his resume. Because again, can't put on the massive events before, like, building his resume. He's building a resume with the 12, 13 fights that he's had now at this point, as a 22 to now 27 or 28-year-old. I mean, no other 28-year-old, like 12 fights, no amateur fights before these 12 fights. There's no one building a resume in the way that he's built his resume, and he should sprinkle more boxers in there and everything. I agree. I mean, I would love to see that. Of course, it's not going to be the showmanship part, which is what he lives for. Him and Logan both live for the showmanship, the entertainment. I mean, Ryan Borland and Andre August, those press conferences were trash. Now, a Nate Diaz and Jake Paul press conference, fireworks. Mike Tyson, fireworks. Tyron Woodley, those face to faces and everything they did around that while they were with Showtime, they were phenomenal. I mean, Tommy Fury, the build for Tommy Fury has been ongoing for years and years. Same with KSI. KSI, on the other hand, and Misfits and all that stuff, that's a whole different conversation. And I want to see that fight badly, just so we can wrap that up with a bow and put that behind us. And yeah, I mean, I want to see Jake get actually active with actual active boxers as well. But I also do enjoy the showmanship and the big fight feel, no matter who he's stepping in the ring with, because at the end of the day, he's stepping into the ring with someone who still has more combat experience than him, and anything can happen.
Well,
So I'm pumped.
and here's the other point too is Jake Paul, right, with the marketing and with the viewership that he has, is only going to bring up these guys that we're talking about nobody knows, right? And then people are going to start looking at WBA, and then all of a sudden people are going to start knowing these guys,
Yeah,
right? And then
that is
they're going
true.
to look and they're going to see who these guys are and what they're all about. They're going to see that they're not just taxi cab drivers or retired UFC fighters, and it's going to pick up. It's going to pick up the marketing. I mean, not that marketing is going to be bad for this first fight, but it's you know, and take a little seat back, take a little decline to triple your ratings later on. You'll have the showmanship, you'll have the marketing, you'll have the numbers. You're going to have good numbers on the first boxing match you have with a solid actual active boxer. And if anything, it's going to bring more light to the WBA versus the WBC.
Yeah,
And then you're really going to be pulling in numbers. Your credibility is going to go up.
yeah.
The credibility of everyone in his division at WBA is going to go up, right? And it's going to get more viewership. Overall, it's a win-win. Let's do this. Let's put the haters to sleep, right? If you're as good a boxer as you've said for the last 13 fights, fight a boxer, beat him. Then the haters can stop saying you're fighting retired UFC fighters and taxi cab drivers and plumbers. Like, shut them up.
I
Do a
agree.
fight, win solidly, and then the sky is literally the limit at that point. So, I want to see Jake Paul fight someone in his actual division.
I mean, I agree. And agree with all that. I see it. I see it on both sides. As a Jake
Right.
fan, a Logan fan, I'm gonna watch regardless of who it is. I've been to an event, and I can say that MVP does put on fantastic events. The day that we graduated at Full Sail, I went to the Andre August fight,
Right.
and it was awesome. And it wasn't a massive stadium, it wasn't a massive arena. It was just in a resort like ballroom type thing. But it would, I mean, there's still like, I think they said it was like 12,000 people or 10,000 people. I don't know how they fit everyone. It was a massive room. um I mean, it was awesome. Great events. And that one was just on DAZN. So I also think that's the reason why boxing has been on a decline like it has been, because no one knows about DAZN. um the DAZN is more like over in the UK big time. So Netflix wasn't doing boxing, HBO Max wasn't doing boxing. It was Showtime over here, and it was DAZN over there. And then Showtime seemingly just vanished. Um, and then of course Netflix gets into it, but ESPN Plus still kind of got into it a little bit. Jake did a couple where it was like on DAZN, and they pushed DAZN, but it was also on ESPN Plus. So who knows where that's going to go, if they continue with Netflix, if they do a deal with ESPN, wherever it's going to be, people are going to watch for sure, because it's Jake. They want to see him get knocked out, they want to see him lose. And it can help some younger fighters careers being on the card with him, not necessarily losing to a YouTuber, losing to lost to Jake Paul. It's kind of, it he's I think that's why I mean, Tommy's younger than him, so um, can't even pronounce. Yeah, she can't pronounce. She can't pronounce it. The zone.
But and that's the difference, though, too. If he does beat one of these fighters, now you start to dismantle that. Oh, he's a YouTuber,
Yeah.
mantra,
Yeah.
right? He beat an actual boxer. Oh, maybe he's not just a YouTuber. Maybe he's a boxer. Maybe we should pay him a little bit more serious attention. So I think it's going to be good all around for everybody if he starts fighting actual boxers in his ranked division. So, but we'll see. I think he likes the showmanship. I don't foresee him actually fighting anybody in his division, which kind of for me ruins the point of being ranked in the World Boxing Association. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, and again, boxing is it's so old school with how they do things in rankings and three, main promotions that get the same hype or anything as the other three. There's not just one sanctioned, united organization of boxing. It's three different ones. You got Ring, you got WBA, WBC, WBO, so four main ones. But I mean, it just because I think that's the good point. Jake can doing his own thing with MVP. He can go and talk to guys who aren't under contract with any specific one. Because if he goes and tries to talk to guys with the WBA has to be a part of that and put on, and he can't necessarily do and promote in the ways that he wants to promote with and whatever or sponsors or however that actually works on that side of things. But he also does put on and have on the cards WBC championship, WBA championship, and all of that. He brings in different championships and everything. And him and Logan both. I would love to see Logan get back into boxing and be on an MVP card versus the Dylan Dennis joke of a card that he was on with the prime card with Misfits. And again, that's a whole nother conversation with what they're doing over in Misfits. They straight up said, we want to be the WWE of boxing. They're doing tag team boxing matches. They're doing, yes, you heard me correctly, tag team boxing matches, fatal four-way boxing matches, last man standing boxing matches. Um, it's
Gimmicky,
insane. Yes,
real
it's
gimmicky.
horrible. It's horrible. They've gone from the YouTube thing was cool, YouTuber versus YouTuber, and just like building it as like, okay, like let them go, do YouTube, but all like or TikTokers, whatever, YouTube versus TikTok, however they were doing it. And then they just stepped into like just how ridiculous can we get and be over the top with the videos and virality of it, everything, and it's not even boxing anymore. It's really, really not.
No,
Surpass YouTuber status. What he really should do is send tropical vibes, Celsius, please and thank you to sleep. No, I mean, hey, um, again, our address is the same, so they can send it to Martina Talks Wrestling. But Sleep Report, I'm reserved for a Prime Energy sponsorship. So Logan, Prime, drink Prime. I'm all about Prime. You can have the Celsius.
Monster. I'll go with Monster.
I do enjoy Monster. I do enjoy Monster. Yeah, boxing is on an incline, and hopefully, I mean, I still want to see him in the PFL. I'm starting to get into the PFL more. Big time card coming up in October, so that'll be fun to talk about as we get closer to that one. But this has been a great episode. We still haven't even gotten into football yet. Um,
Right.
but the Seahawks at the Steelers, Giants at the Cowboys. What really quickly, since you're missing, of course, college football, UTEP at Texas and Villanova at Penn State. I believe they both started at 12. So we are running overtime. But your thoughts on Giants and Cowboys? Are them boys going to bounce back?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. The last time the Giants beat the Cowboys, you want to know who their star receiver was?
Oh boy!
It was Des Bryant.
Wow.
Des Bryant. So it was 2016 because we had Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott in their rookie seasons. and Des Bryant was there at receiver. So it's been almost 10 years to the day that the Giants beat the Cowboys last. So, I mean, and really, there were only a few plays away from beating the Eagles. So, Jake Ferguson dropped the touchdown. CeeDee Lamb had some drops that could have extended drives, scored for a touchdown. The defense played well, 68 yards for Jalen Hurts, but they also weren't doing it. There was no quarterback spying in the first half. They held Saquon Barkley, who had 2,000 all-purpose yards, I think, last year.
He was under 100. Yeah, I get that.
60 yards on the night for Saquon. So, I mean, Dallas isn't a bad team. Like I said, they were a couple plays away from beating the Eagles after their Super Bowl celebration in Philly. And they held that offense to 24 points, but they scored 20. So, once we get going and get meshed well together, I think Dallas, I for sure think they're going to beat the Giants. They're going to be 1-1 after today. But once they start getting rolling and start meshing well with each other, it's going to be a dangerous offense and a good solid defense as well. We're also out a couple of big guys. Revel Jr. at cornerback, who was injured when we drafted him, but he's almost back. He's back on track to be back shortly. DeMarvion Overshown from Texas, always solid. He's working towards getting back. The only question I have is it looks like they lost Deron Bland for a few weeks, possibly 3 to 4, in an injury for practice on Monday. But overall, Cowboys are definitely bouncing back. And as far as Seahawks Steelers, I don't see the Seahawks beating the Steelers at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm pumped for tomorrow. We have a couple injuries, as you mentioned, on the defensive side. Joey Porter Jr. is out with a hamstring. Deshaun Elliott is out with a knee, and Derek Harmon is also out with a knee. So hopefully the shakeup on the defense will give us exactly what we needed last week, which was just someone and anyone stepping up, please and thank you. I mean, that was painful. The offense was phenomenal. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I'm not worried about. I mean, I am worried about our offensive line. They were still shaky, but Aaron Rodgers looked great, and the offense is something that we haven't seen in quite some time. So the defense was pathetic. And then, of course, Chris Boswell, the best kicker in the league, nailing a 60-yard game winner, career long. Mike Tomlin, direct quote: "Our kicker is a serial killer, has a dead man's pulse for the big moments, and best kicker in the league. And we should give every penny that we just gave to Cameron Hayward to Chris Boswell because Cameron Hayward seemingly forgot to get off the plane after being paid. But hey, at least him and his family, they can eat. They can now eat with the extra $3 million that he's now getting this season."
I will argue that best kicker in the league comment with Brandon Aubrey from Dallas. Definitely best in the league. That man's going for a 70-yard field goal this year, guaranteed.
He also plays in a dome in an enclosed stadium. So,
but 70 yards is still impressive, dome or not.
I mean, I agree, but it's the Jake Paul all over again. It's fighting retired UFC guys and kicking in a dome versus, a 65-yarder at Acrisure Stadium against the open end is way more impressive than 75 yards in a dome. I mean, 75 yards is still, wow, mind blown, but being in a dome there's no win factor. So it just like, Tucker having the record 72 or 74, whatever it is, at Ford Field, it's in a dome. So like, you know,
We'll see. It'll be interesting. Well, you know what? We'll see who has the higher percentage at the end of the season.
yeah. Just for fun, I pulled it up here. Week 1, Boz had 14 fantasy points, made 4 extra points, and of course, 2 field goals made from 50 plus yards.
I did have
Brandon
Boswell.
Aubrey had 11 fantasy points, made 2 extra points, and made 1 field goal from 40 to 49, and then made 1 50 plus. And projected for week 2, Boz is projected 8.2, and Brandon Aubrey is projected 8.4. So we will definitely see. Definitely, and he's still the kicker from that they signed from the UFL or XFL like 2 years ago, right?
I think so.
Yeah, 3 years experience. Yeah, he yeah.
I will say, yeah, from the USFL's Birmingham Stallions in
Okay,
2020.
so that was okay. So it was before they even the US they even merged. Okay, dang.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he was a standout kicker and a 2-time USFL champion.
Yep.
Oh, of course, that's right. I remember now. He played soccer for Notre Dame and
Okay.
professionally for the Toronto FC in Major League Soccer. That's right. He was a soccer player before and made the conversion over into the NFL or the USFL into kicking and has just been absolutely phenomenal. Mr.
For sure.
Automatic.
For sure. I wouldn't give him that name yet. Maybe when Boz is done, he can be the next one up. But Boz is and has been Mr. Automatic.
All right.
Aubrey's 3 years in. Let's pump the brakes because McPherson was for the Bengals was getting the same hype, and then now it's like okay, he whatever. But yeah, wait, stadium kicking. Oh, I lost Josh. Um, Stadium kicking is considered better than arena kicking because arenas. There we go. Josh is back. Looks like we lost you, but yeah, stadiums are open, so the wind is a factor in an enclosed uh, dome stadium, or when the stadium is closed, there's no wind factor, so it's not as it's more like okay, there's really no way to mess up unless you just it's a bad. There's other factors that go into both. Snap, bad snap, good snap, a good hold, bad hold. Any kick can be blocked, whatever. But especially in Acrisure Stadium, their open end faces the river, so the wind with all that, there's a whole bunch of science behind it. But yeah, we are about 10 minutes away from our limit of 2 hours to where we can have StreamYard make clips for us to put out on all the platforms that we're on, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. So we are gonna wrap it up, and we will see you next week. Josh, do you have anything to close us out?
Go Cowboys, go Horns, go find me on YouTube, Lacing on Sports Media. I'm also on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. And if you want to find my other profile, go to Your Favorite Texan One on Instagram, posting on there as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Look forward to next week. A lot of good stuff today and some good college football coming up and NFL this weekend. So
that's right. This has been Saturday Smack Talk on the Tired Sports Network, Sleeper Sports Media, Lace 'em Up Sports Media. I'm Nick Weetosh. That's Josh Fraser. And thank you. Thank you for watching. Great numbers already coming in. We will see you next week to preview the full card for WrestlePalooza and talk about all the happenings across the sports world. So until next week, we'll see you next time. Does that apply to the player, how the players as well? I don't know. Possibly. I mean, it depends. The weather could definitely be a factor. So the weather kind of mixes in if it's in a dome or stadium or whatever. But yeah, you didn't. It's not in your football textbook. I'll go at it right now. So thank you guys again. We're out. We'll see you next week. Follow the Tired Sports Network, Lace 'em Up Sports Media, and Sleeper Sports Media. We will see you next week.